Kavita Srivastava, there is a charge being made that romanticization is taking place as a caricature of victimhood of these forces that are there. In fact, these are hardcore criminals.
See, firstly, I think we have to come to the question whether the state offensive is really needed in these areas. I think the survey has shown a very mature response where there is a clear-cut message that don't do an offensive in these areas and negotiate. And I think that is what I want to come to. While completely stating publicly and again that we don't support any kind of violence that is being indulged to by either side. However, if you're going to ban organizations, if you're going to ban all political activities, then how are they going to be heard? And please remember the train that was train jacked yesterday, something like that was done even in the JP movement. That was done by Jharkhand Mukti Morcha also. So it's not the first time that Maoists have done it. They wanted to be heard. After all, Chakradhar Mahato was heading a committee against police atrocities.
But Kavita Srivastava,
right to ask him to be released.
But Kavita Srivastava, the question that can be raised is that 180 districts under the control of the Maoists, that's almost 40,000 square kilometers of land. In this area, the writ of the government of India is not being allowed to run. Now, which government can tolerate such a situation?
Let us see what has been the government's face in these areas. Exploitation. Just a few days ago, the Home Ministry, Government of India, announced the removal of 1 lakh cases from such a small state like Jharkhand with a population of less than 2 crores. 1 lakh cases, the government said, only related to forest disputes. Can we see what is the face of the government? It's criminalized people. If you ask the tribals what they think of what our laws are, they're going to laugh at it because it's criminalized them all. So I think, and if you look at Chhattisgarh, what has it done in Chhattisgarh? If you look, the earlier debate that Mr. Vinod Sharma had persuaded, I think the attack on livelihoods, 600 villages get evacuated. Before that, MOUs are signed in certain areas. These people who get evacuated are brought into camps. Who will like to live in camps? And then when they flee of the camps, they are declared Naxalites, and then they are denied the tribal rights.
Let's put that to Mr. Kumawat. Mr. Kumawat, it's almost as if anyone who is obstructing the kind of economic development that the state wants to pursue is being called a Naxal. After all, land is self-esteem, land is self-respect, land is precious. Now, if development has to be carried out and land needs to be got, you cannot just forcibly acquire that land. It has to be a relationship of respect by which you take that land away from people who've lived there for generations.
Let me make very clear, these Naxals, those who are wielding arms, that's one category. Those who are wielding arms, those who are challenging
the grievance is land grab.
Maybe, but you know, first you must understand it is Communist Party of India, Maoist, which believes in undermining authority of this government, the democratically elected government. They want to unseat this government by illegal method, by violence. That must be understood. You meet all their 100 demands, you take it from me, still they will carry on their movement, or they will carry on their, the violent methodology and unseat this government.
So you're saying it's a political battle?
Which government will allow, this type of methodology or strategy for acquiring power? Which government will allow? Which democratically elected government will allow people to hijack or, unseat a democratically elected government?
Okay,
one has to understand. These issues, you meet all their demands, but still they will continue this thing. They are following Mao. What did Mao do?
But, the question I'd like to pursue here then is, when we come back after this tiny break, is this a political war that is being waged, or is it in fact a liberation of, a liberation movement being fought by the poorest of the poor? Let's take that when we come back.
Political party.